I'm enrolling in Medicare soon, and it had me a little confused. Then I found myhealthpolicy.com. With myhealthpolicy.com, I could go online and compare Medicare Advantage plans from some top-rated national insurers, including $0 monthly premium plans. I can learn about plans in my area and talk with a licensed insurance agent if needed. myhealthpolicy.com has made doing my research a whole lot easier.
My choice, my Medicare, myhealthpolicy.com.
New to Medicare? Start now. Go to myhealthpolicy.com to learn about some of the top-rated Medicare Advantage plans in your area, including plans for $0 a month in plan premiums, low out-of-pocket costs, and expansive provider networks. If you're thinking about a Medicare Advantage plan, myhealthpolicy.com is a great place to go to find a plan that meets your needs. Learn more about your options. Even talk with a licensed insurance agent. myhealthpolicy.com.
Hello and welcome to Audiogyan. Today we have a very special guest with us, Atul Kulkarni. Atul is an Indian actor who has worked in more than 60 films in 7 languages, an alumni of NSD, and has done graduation in English literature from DAV College, Solapur. He has won 2 national awards and is famous for his work in Rang De Basanti, Hey Ram, Natrang and many more. You can see him in his recently released film, The Ghazi Attack. Welcome, Atul. Hi, Atul. Welcome to Audiogyan and thanks for giving us your time. It's a real honor to have you on the show.
Hi, Kedar. Thanks for having me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the first thing which I wanted to ask you was how can one stay genuine and true to his or her role and still be detached?
I have always felt that there are as many methods, as many actors in this world. So we, of course, tend to categorize them broadly: method acting, this acting, that acting. But I think every person has his own way, own method, and because we are different persons, basically. So I don't know. I think I should not answer it in a general way. I can answer about myself, basically. But I have always felt that acting is a technique, and one can learn to be detached, and that is how that is a method that I believe in. I mean, getting the skin under the character under the skin and all. I don't really work with that method. Basically, it's a very cerebral process, according to me. Acting is an extremely cerebral process, and since I believe in it, I think staying detached is easy that way.
Mm-hmm. So if the actor keeps himself detached, what could be the process of developing the character or just staying in the character over a period of time, thereby probably showcasing the subtleties of the character, right?
I think acting is all about understanding the person that you are portraying and try to be that person, basically. And the process, I think, is different for different roles and different films. There is no blanket answer to it as to how one prepares. So, but broadly, if we look at it, it is definitely the script. The more and more you read the script and be with the script and think about it, you get to know the character more. Then, of course, you have your director with you, who guides you through, who tells you how he sees that character. And I think it is like what we say, giving time to your family. I think it is the same thing. You have to give time to your character, which basically means that from the moment you decide to do the film, it has to be at the back of your mind. Not that you have to be the character. There is difference. I'm absolutely not saying it. You have to be yourself all the time. However, you have to have that person, that character at the back of your mind. And the more time that you give to that person, naturally you get to know that person more. It is that simple logic which we follow even in our lives, and that is true even when you are acting.
Okay. Since you have done a lot of theater as well, where do you think it is more challenging to develop or rather maintain the character, in films or in theater?
Theater has definitely the advantage where you repeat every time the final performance that you do, and you do that over the years. And we, as a person, we keep on changing, so our thinking changes, our looking at the world changes, looking at the character changes. And theater has a great advantage where you perform it, you give your final performance, and then you keep on giving your final performance for years together. You can do that. That is, I would say, a kind of an advantage that theater has. But the disadvantage that you also can have is that suppose in a show you do something which is so brilliant that you can't repeat it even your next 100 shows. That can happen. But that's exactly what can happen in films, that if you give that and if the camera captures it, that's it. You have it for your lifetime. So basically, it's about the technique, and theater and films, they have completely different techniques. As far as preparation of the role and everything is concerned, I don't think there is much difference in that from the actor's point of view. But I think in cinema, actor has to learn the other technical aspects, which is camera, editing, lighting, whatever, the music, background music, and everything. I think an actor has to have a hang of all these things. He has to think about all these things. I know that some actors feel that you just do your thing and why do you have to think about all these things? But I think in cinema, I very strongly believe that knowledge, basic knowledge of all these things as to how a film is made, you have to have, and that has to be in your mind when you're giving the shot, because it helps you if you know that roughly where this will get edited, how you can maintain the thing, and when you're giving the shot, you have to keep in mind what was the last scene, what would be the next scene. So I think you have to develop a kind of faculty inside you where you can see the entire film in front of your eyes even before it is shot. I think that is one faculty that film actor needs to develop. And of course, I'm not saying that there can't be changes or whatever, and there can be changes. But if you have this faculty, if you develop this faculty, that definitely helps, and that I can vouch for. And having said that, again, your director is always with you. Your other technicians are always with you. Your assistant directors are always with you. The entire team is with you. And they keep on, of course, helping you, like the continuity assistant or costume or whatever. I mean, all these guys, they keep on helping you to do the right thing. So it is a combination, I would say.
That's interesting. The next one, which I wanted to ask you, is slightly a cliche one, but just want to get your perspective on it. What, according to you, are 2 or 3 basic but necessary qualities an actor should have?
As I said, I mentioned one. I think if you want to work in films, you have to know the technique that filmmaking is, and you have to know all the aspects, the basics of it. I think that is extremely important. Secondly, I think we should never forget that film is the most expensive art. And we Shantaram used to say that films are 80% business and 20% art. And I absolutely trust in that. I absolutely believe so. I always say that, liking acting, being able to act, and doing business of acting are 3 different things. and they are completely different from each other, and they are not, dependent on each other. Which means that basically, if the fact that you like acting doesn't mean that you can act, or you can do the business of acting. Even if you are a very good actor, you might not be able to good in doing business of acting. And if there can be a situation where you are not so good an actor, but you are excellent businessman as far as the business of acting is concerned. So in that sense, they are not interdependent. But since film is the most expensive art, I think actor also has to think about the business part of it, which is very crucial. I'm talking about professional actors, of course, professional film actors, and they have to take cognizance of this very fact that we are into most expensive art, and that I think changes your attitude of acting. And acting, see, acting in films is not, it doesn't end after giving the shot or completing the film. These days, when you are marketing the film, naturally you have to contribute more, and you have to respect that. You can't just be saying that my job is just acting and what the hell. Come on. So it's not so. That is completely wrong. If you understand how what kind of business cinema is, especially these days, I think your attitude towards everything will change. So that is the second thing. I mean, just because you said three, I don't think I should get three,
No,
but these are the two basic
that's
things, and whatever. I mean, right now I don't have
yeah,
anything
that's cool. That's cool.
in my mind. Yeah, yeah.
The next one is slightly philosophical, and that's where I thought of naming this podcast session as Last Temptations of an Actor. So, how can one live in this world of cinema, not fall in the trap of this glamorous world, and still be remembered as a good actor?
See, lot of money or a desire to earn money and not having time is absolutely not true only with film as business. I think these days, whichever profession you are in, you can get into the quote unquote trap that you are saying. So film is not very different from all that. And it is not different because these things, they depend on the definition of life that you have set to live with, as a person. So, and if you have certain definitions that how you want to lead your life, then I think that dictates how you are going to approach your profession. Personally, if you ask me, I have always, believed that my profession is not my life. My profession is an important part of my life, but it's a small part of my life. It is not my life. It can't dictate my life. And it is when once my hobby, which was acting, became my profession, it became a source to live life, basically. And so we must understand whether money is the aim or the means, and that is where your definition comes into play, according to me. So by all this, basically I mean that you need not separate films as far as money and time is concerned. Of course, glamour is one thing that not that necessarily every profession has. Our profession has that advantage of getting your face known to more and more people and being famous and all that. But I think again that has to do with your temperament as to how you're approaching your profession or what your definitions are again of the life. So you may be a failure, you may be a success or whatever, but in my profession, more than talent, what is important is temperament. You have to have that temperament to be in this profession, because this is extremely volatile kind of a profession. It's extremely uncertain kind of a profession. And at the same time, it can give you glamour. So it is very, very difficult to handle this profession. So that is why I think you have to have the right kind of temperament to handle it. And once you have it, may it be failure or success, I think if you, by definition, decide that your life is more important than your profession, then I think everything is good.
Hmm. Talking about life leads very naturally to my last and a bit personal question. I heard from a lot of people and friends also that you live a very simple life with just roti, kapda, makan, and Wi-Fi. So, can you tell us more about it, please?
Uh, I don't know what to call it, because unnecessarily these days, living simple has become very glamorous and has become a virtue kind of a thing, and something that is to be looked up upon and all that. So I don't know whether to use that word, but just to explain how I live is, I mean, very simple terms. I don't have a television at home, don't have AC or washing machine or microwave. We don't have double beds. We sleep on the floor on mattress. We don't have sofas or whatever. Uh, I mean, I don't know what to call that, but if that is how I live. I don't know. Zen actually says that the beauty lies in the emptiness of the house. So I don't know, but basically, we have been living like that for last 20 years, so more than that. So we never have had these things. So but few things which are necessary, like the fridge. We of course have a fridge because considering our lifestyles and considering the life that we live, we need something which keeps the food safe for longer period. And considering also that we live in Bombay and the weather and everything, so that we have. And Wi-Fi, of course, because I am a fan of technology. I am a firm believer of technology, and that's something I'm extremely curious about. So that is something I also feel which is essential to keep pace with the times and with everything. So yes, these are probably two or three things that we have. But I mean, just referring to the answer to your last question, I think it is about deciding. It is about zeroing down on the definitions of your life. And it is, I think, very simple that who is going to dictate how you live, whether it is you or whether it is the world around you who with certain notions that this is how it should be lived. These are the things that you should have. So I have come to a conclusion that these days we don't decide how we live, but the people decide how we should live. And once we get rid of that, I think it becomes very easy, very simple, and to write down your definitions of life and what you want and what you don't need, basically. And what do you work for? You work for to rest, to lead the rest of your life happily, or you work just because that is your only definition of success and failure. If your profession, your success in profession and failure is your definition of success and failure in your life, then probably that is something which probably won't keep you happy for long. And that is where something else would be deciding your happiness. If you just decide that that is not going to dictate, someone else is not going to dictate, my profession is not going to dictate my happiness, then I think it is a completely different definition of living your life. And according to me, it is very, very simple. The only demand that this kind of thinking has is, freedom from what the world says. And that, I think, is, if you really look at it, it's very simple.
That's quite deep and profound, and also resonates a lot with what I'm reading these days. Obviously, just learning right now. But that's it from my side. Thanks, Atul, for giving us your time. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thanks, Kedar.
It was great talking to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Kedar. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks. It was a pleasure. Yeah. Bye.
And that's it from today's Gyan session with Atul Kulkarni. Stay tuned for more Gyan on Audiogyan next week. Till then, bye.
New to Medicare? Go to myhealthpolicy.com. With myhealthpolicy.com, you can compare plans from some of the nation's top insurers. Start now to find a plan and apply online. myhealthpolicy.com makes it easy to find a Medicare Advantage plan in your area, including plans for $0 a month in plan premiums, low out-of-pocket costs, and expansive provider networks.
My decision, my Medicare. myhealthpolicy.com.